Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Tuesday, October 24th, 2018. Earlier today covered the bomb scare, the latest contrived propaganda in the media, and exposed the ritual behind it. And since doing that, they've put out a few more names of people who got bomb scares, including John Brennan, the former head of the CIA, who had his security clearance retracted earlier this year by the numbers. I want to further prove that today's news is government-sponsored propaganda put out to create fear and division and to waste taxpayer dollars. And for us, it should remind us, just how bad we're being exploited. Understand, as I expose all of this, it's us who are paying for all of these false threats and this manipulation. And this is why we, the people, need to educate ourselves and stand up and shut this federal government down. That is the purpose of this message. That's why I've been working so hard, 5 years, exposing these patterns. And like they say, hard work pays off. So let's go here to the presentation. We're going to do a follow-up on this, and then we're going to talk about the Mega Millions. For years, I've been exposing how these major lottery jackpots are grand theft from the people who spend money on these tickets. Real people do not win this money. I'm going to show you why the Mega Millions ticket was supposedly the winner yesterday and why the news is coming today. But first, we're going to do the follow-up with this bomb story. So again, today, October 24th, it's the day leaving 68 days left in the year. That's a important number to the CIA. If you watched the video earlier, I got to be redundant. Everyone in this country needs to know this about 68. And it's all verifiable. If you doubt a word I say, you just look it up. 1968, it's the year Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. It was the year Bobby Kennedy was killed. It's also the year 911 was made the national emergency dialing code. It's the year World Trade Center construction began. It's the year George W. Bush graduated from Yale and Skull and Bones, whose father was the head of the CIA, before becoming vice president and president. From George W. Bush's birthday to September 11th is a span of 68 days, and not by accident. Big number in CIA rituals. And here we are today, October 24th, the day leaving 68 days left in the year. You can just do a web search for October 24th. You'll see it's the 297th day of the year, leaving 68 days remaining. So, CIA 68. Everyone who works in the Oval Office is a CIA asset, a puppet in chief, someone who has no real control or power over anything, just someone who goes out each day and fulfills the script. That's why they get actors so often to fulfill the presidency, which includes Donald Trump, a man who's acted in movies, TV shows, World Wrestling Association, reality TV, the chump. Anyway, notice in Gematria, where CIA sums to 68, so does Barack Obama, so does Donald J. Trump, so does Donald John Trump. You're new here, there's 4 base ciphers, very intuitive, the alphabetic order forwards and backwards. You learn these ciphers, you can see through all media propaganda. So, with regards to this being a CIA operation, and everyone in this country should know what the real purpose of the CIA is. An op-ed was written about the purpose of the CIA a month after JFK was assassinated by the same president, Truman, who signed the CIA into being. He said the CIA needed to be completely gutted because it was a mind control weapon against the people. That was 1963 that op-ed was written. What year are we in now? 55 years later here. CIA still doing its thing. Mind control weapon against the people. Truman, the 33rd president, signed the CIA into being. Look how old John Brennan is right now, 63 years old. And this is the former head of the CIA. This is a CIA operation. From John Brennan's birthday to today is his 33rd day of his age. 33, number that always shows up in these government rituals. Why? Because the U.S. federal government is Masonic. It's not a coincidence that Washington, D.C. is named after George Washington, the Scottish Rite Freemason. And it's not a coincidence that the headquarters for Freemasonry for all of North America is in Washington, D.C. It's not a coincidence that that building, the House of the Temple, the Masonic headquarters in D.C., has 33 pillars on the outside, each 33 feet tall. And if you want to know the obsession and the reason for why Masonry is fixated with 33, you should definitely read my book. You'll learn about that and a million other things that you need to know if you want to know what's really going on in this world. You know, most of these truth channels out here, they don't really want to tell you anything. There's a popular truth channel, Press for Truth. He was just chatting with people in his live stream. I noticed that supposedly he has 200,000 followers. I noticed his chat didn't have nearly as many people active in it as mine. But anyway, he was chatting with everyone, and I was trying to get in contact with him and saying, hey, man, can I get in a conversation with you, get you to educate your audience about Gematria? And I was leaving helpful comments in there. He was responding to everybody but me, just ignoring all the comments about Gematria. So pay attention to most of these YouTube channels on here. They're not helping out anything. They don't really care about the truth. They care about making money, period. You know, playing to the more popular side of the truth aisle, which is something I've never done. I know what side's more popular. It's not the side I stand on. But most of these truth channels out here are a bunch of pretenders. They won't tell you anything that matters. They'll just get you caught up in the divisive rhetoric. Anyway, 33rd day of Brennan's age, former CIA head. This is a CIA operation, Masonry 33, Secrecy 33, Federal 33, Order 33, and here we are in October, the only month with 33 Gematria. In that truth community, there's always the October surprise terminology. Well, there's a reason they like October so much. It's got their numbers. So again, just to review, today's date, the date of this bomb scare, date with 72 numerology, date with 45 numerology as well. And those numbers should remind you of the sitting president, Donald Trump, who's 72 years old. President Trump happens to sum to 72. Important number in Kabbalah. You know, Donald Trump, he wrote about Kabbalah and how he had a Kabbalah teacher. So Donald Trump's well aware of this language of letters and numbers. So are most elites. Today is Donald Trump's 133rd day of his age. And again, White House is 133, so is president, so is government. We were talking about this in 2015 and 16. When Donald Trump first announced he was running, headlines like this started to emerge, and I was saying, is this a sign that they're going to install the chump? Forbes magazine wrote that Trump was the 133rd richest in the nation. And notice that measurement was over 33 years. The mockery. Then shortly after that, all of a sudden Fox News ran this popular story about how it was Trump's 133rd appearance on Fox. How come they didn't keep track of all the other appearances? Again, I was explaining this stuff way back then. I said, keep your eyes on the chump. They might have this guy lined up as the next president. You know. So here we are on his 133rd day, and what happens? All of his political enemies in the propaganda-based news network that's meant to divide and conquer the people, all of them get bombs, including Obama, a name meant to mock us all. So Hillary gets one, Obama gets one. I talked about the significance about Obama being 57. You can watch the prior video I put out. Big number there with the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry that runs DC, that runs the federal government. But I also talked about how from Obama's 57th birthday to today is 81 days later. And that absolutely matters because that's the ritual number. And these are rituals. Masonry's into rituals, using occult knowledge that most people don't have a clue about, like Gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words. And don't forget, just one more time, on August 1st, we talked about this then, I got a video from August 1st, on 8/1, Obama endorsed 81 candidates. And the news was all full of 81 that day. It wasn't just that story. But that's the ritual number. And then, you know, Obama gets a bomb. Look at the Gematria of Obama and bomb. Obama, bomb, the same in our two most basic of the four ciphers. In Jewish Gematria, Obama and bomb, both 84, like his August 4th, 84 birthday. You know, just as a reminder, do you remember when Osama died after Obama became president? That was exactly 119 weeks after Obama became president. 119, like the date September 11th, 11/9. Go back and look at the story of Osama's father. Supposedly he died in a plane crash September 3rd, 1967, the day leaving 119 days left in the year. It's all mockery by the numbers. All Seeing Eye 119, Orthodox 119, Star of David 119. Don't forget this code of letters and numbers is Masonic only because Masonry is based in Judaism and the Jewish mysticism Kabbalah that says God created the world by merging the letter with the number. Don't forget that after 9/11, Ehud Barak, the leader of Israel, came over here and told us to declare a war on terror on what two nations? Oh, the two that we went to war with, Afghanistan and Iraq. See how that works? Two nations that weren't responsible. So those are the major updates. The main thing I really wanted to get in here is the piece with John Brennan. It just sews up what we already knew and what we already saw even before they put out that detail, but it's just the icing on the cake. So that said, let's hop into some new material. Let's talk about this Mega Millions jackpot. You know, how many years have I been exposing the lottery by the same repetitive numbers? So anyway, the winning ticket was yesterday, Tuesday, October 23rd. The news of the winnings is today, October 24th. And today has 72 numerology, just like the word money. And this is what occupies most people's minds. Money, 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 money. I was just at the grocery store the other day, and you know how long the line was to buy the lottery tickets? I could just hear all the chatter from the people about how big the pot was. They were so excited to get their tickets. All the people paying the idiot tax. If you play the lottery, you participate in the idiot tax. And I realize that you can win some of the smaller pots. Again, like I said, I've known two people in this lifetime who've won pots around $50,000, which is pretty substantial. But you'll never touch one of these pots because nobody really gets these. These are all the big lie to boost the tax revenues, which everyone participated in who bought a ticket. So today's date also has 52 numerology. The pot got into the billions. Could be a coincidence, but here's what's not. The winning ticket was drawn October 23rd, the day leaving 69 days left in the year. Look at the Gematria Mega Millions. 69. The Mega Millions winner on the day leaving 69 days left in the year. And I can't overlook what 10 plus 23 is either, in light of explaining for years that Masonry controls all of this. You know, Masonry, secrecy, federal, order, October. Here we are, 10/23 October. 1.6, that's a lot like 16. 16 is one of those only words that when you write out, sums to 33. We'll call that a coincidence too. Notice the 158 post time here. Not an accident for Mega Millions, because again, it's all Freemasonry. Freemasonry, 158. See that 139 over here? That reminds me of Powerball, 139. But 158 for Freemasonry. Hey, just I got to go off on a tangent real quick for all you fast food eaters. I want you to think about this. Look at the Gematria at Burger King, 158. What do you think McDonald's is? McDonald's, 158. I want you to look at your dollar bill, and I want you to look at all the 13 symbolism on that. The Freemasons like 13 because it symbolizes how many cycles of the moon there is. If you write out Scottish Rite, it's 57. If you write out moon, it's 57. Here we are in the time of a full moon. It's 13 cycles, one of 13 full moons in a year. 13. The thing about BK, you know, Burger King, 158 like Freemasonry, BK is 13, and M is the 13th letter. You know, you learn this code, you can see all the things that Masonry control in this world, and it's a lot of things. It's your government, it's your media, it's your mega corporations, it's your major food chains, it's your lottery, and they do it all by a very, very, very repetitive code. So, speaking of 57 in the moon, again, this news is coming on the day of a full moon. Moon 57, Mega Millions, moon, the 13th letter. Anyway, Mega Millions 57, the winner's in South Carolina, right? Supposedly, South Carolina 57, just like Scottish Rite's 57. Notice the word millions has the gematria of 113, like Scottish, as in Scottish Rite. Also 103. Overlap in 2 of the 4 base ciphers, alphabetic order, forwards and reverse. Remember just the other year, January 13th, 2016, there was the record 1.5 billion jackpot. You remember that one? 113, not an accident. On that same day that that jackpot happened, there was this in Scotland. Speaking of the Scottish Rite, 33 million pound winner on January 13th in Scotland. Scottish Rite. You know, it's too bad they deleted my old channel because I used to have a lot of videos exposing all sorts of lottery jackpots by the numbers. But, you can just apply the code and do the same thing. Go back through history, take a peek. Notice this stat here. I love this stat right here from CBS News. The average American spends about $223 per year on lottery tickets. It's probably about right. I can't get my dad to stop playing the idiot tax. He doesn't spend money on most things, but he'll spend about $5 a week on the lottery. Never won anything in his life, so he doesn't see $5 as a small risk. But I'm just thinking about that. If he spends $5 a week, that's about $260 a year. So this figure is probably not too far off the mark for the average American. I'd consider my dad a pretty average dude. But we know why they put 223 there. Masonic, 223. Masonic also 74 with the alphabetic order. Lottery, 74. Notice the overlap with Masonic and lottery. Not a coincidence. Not a coincidence. In October, federal masonry secrecy order, all 33. When you write out 33, it sums to 156, just like South Carolina. And this winning ticket on 1023, 10 plus 23, 33. So, I mean, play the lottery if you want. Don't ever count on winning one of these big pots. It's like, who sung that song? Was it En Vogue, or I can't think right now. Was it Never Gonna Get It? Was that the En Vogue song? Could have been SWV. I can't remember which one it is. I think it's En Vogue. Next time you go to buy one of those tickets, you better get some En Vogue in your head. Never gonna get it, because you're not. Just how they collect more revenue for Israel. It's how they collect more revenue for false flags. When Donald Trump goes everywhere and they need a 500-car, convoy, that stuff costs money. You got to pay all those employees. Got to pay all those guys in black suits. Isn't it funny how, like here in the United States of America, we'll have our president say like, "Oh, that Gaddafi, he's a thug." It's like, really? Dude, you're the guy who has to walk around with 500 men dressed in suits and guns as escorts. Gaddafi can walk down the street in his own nation. Isn't it funny? And people fall for it. They're like, yeah, Gaddafi's a thug. It's like, weird. Gaddafi's like helping his people out, man. Just amazing how these mind-controlled sheep, they'll just follow anything. They'll believe anything this TV pumps out. You better look up that Richard Nixon quote. Somebody brought it up last night in Gematria school. I haven't mentioned it for a while. Richard Nixon says people only believe what they see on the TV. And isn't it so true? Isn't it so true? It's sad to think that for every person watching this whatever we call this YouTube live stream, there's probably 10 million people watching the TV right now getting sucked in. Oh my God, act of terror. All the right wingers, all the cue balls, they're all thinking, see, they're going after Anyway, this really is this story is going to come back on the truth community. Just wait. I can't wait until they put out the guy that they arrest. He'll have some MK Ultra glazed out look, probably messy hair. They'll say you had a YouTube channel. He was following the Q movement. Understand, all of you people sucked into Q, you're sucked into a psyop. Just like all the people who were sucked into Pizzagate, people sucked into Flat Earth, you're getting sucked into psyops. You're looking for truth, and you're following this vacuum that's trying to suck you down to the wrong place. Tell you what, you want to do something in this truth community, get good at this Gematria knowledge and help spread the word, because it's how the world elite operate every single day, and you can prove it. So think about this work, evidence-based. Years of documenting the same repetitive patterns, and they just keep coming, So feel bad for the person out there that thinks this stuff's a joke, especially after talking about it for nonstop since 2013. So remember, tonight, every Wednesday night, the spot to be, starting at 6 p.m. West Coast time. That's 9 o'clock if you're on the East Coast. I'm on TFR Live every Wednesday night. Been there for quite a while. Got that Wednesday night spot, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. out here on the West Coast, 9 p.m. to midnight on the East Coast. If you can't listen live, you just got to go to tfrlive.com, and I believe type /Zachary Hubbard. I think that's what you type in. It is. And then it'll pull up my show. And then you can just listen. And in case you're new here and you want to check this out, the way TFR works is after a show airs, you have 10 days to listen to it for free. Otherwise, you have to sign up. You know, like you wouldn't be able to listen to this show because it's been more than 10 days since October 10th. But you get 10 days after to listen to for free. After that, you got to be a paid for member. If you do want to sign up for Truth Frequency Radio and you sign up at my page, whatever fee you sign up for, half of that fee I get as revenue. So I appreciate that. And that said, you don't have to sign up at all. I don't care if you don't sign up, but I do care if you listen. And I really love if you called in. You know, we get, if you're in the U.S., the number to call is 213-233-3998. It's free to call in as long as you got the cell phone minutes, the landline minutes, whatever. It's the Los Angeles area code. Free to call in, free to listen. And I love first-time callers. So I don't really have any more to add here. I'll do that dangerous thing real quick. I'll just check out the chat, see if there's any other news stories you guys want me to cover. We got 322 watching again. Somehow I don't believe these stats. When I turned in last time, it was at 322 too. Now we've fallen down to 311. Okay. Radio show is tonight, every Wednesday night. Yeah, it's live every Wednesday. Hinckley. Simpsonville. Golden Strip. Welcome, Carrie. Hey, you know something I just thought about that I should look at here? My man Hickok was telling me to look at this angle. How do you spell Unabomber? Ted Kaczynski. Unabomber. His birthday is the 142nd day of the year. Okay, so May 22nd is the 142nd day of the year. The word terrorist is 142. Ted Kaczynski was supposed to be the terrorist who sent people bombs in the mail, targeting them for political reasons. He's currently 76 years old. I just want to see how many days it is from his birthday. Earlier this year, Ted Kaczynski was all synced up with those Austin bombings, which I predicted would end at 5 bombings in Austin, as they did. Let's see here. 5/22 to 10/24. So this is the full span of days. Huh. That's funny. That's funny right there. You see that it's his 156th day? We just talked about how this number connects to 33. When you write out 33, sums to 156. You know, we were talking about all the 33s. This story came on, story is definitely connected to the CIA, and it came on John Brennan's 33rd day of his age. Hilarious. So it's Ted Kaczynski's 156th day of being 76 years old. I call 76 the symbol number. That symbol connection. So Ted Kaczynski, symbolic dude, symbolic age. I suppose we should look at the Gematria Unabomber and his full name to see if we can get any more out of this. Unabomber. Okay, 13th triangular. 37 connects to Congress. 152 connects to Pennsylvania Avenue. 53 also connects to Pennsylvania. Has everything to do with the White House. Okay, let me see. Let's see his Theodore J. Kaczynski. I've never heard anybody call him that way. I thought it was just like Ted Kaczynski. That's what I'm used to hearing. See his full name equals 103, 311. I know these numbers. 103 is Scottish. 311 is the 64th prime. Number of the Synagogue of Satan. 104. Big American number. Big Zionist number. Theodore J. Kaczynski, how Wikipedia does it. Now I see 84 and 96, like Masonry's 84, like United States of America's 84, like Freemasons 96. Let's try out Ted Kaczynski, what they normally call him. 49, 68, 68, of course it is. 68, here we are on the day leaving 68 days left in the year, you guys. Right where we started. And this is what he's most commonly called, Ted Kaczynski. And, you know, just to take that a step further, this bomb ritual on the day leaving 68 days left in the year and how well it synced up with Donald Trump on his 133rd day of his age, the big president number. Notice that Ted Kaczynski has this 148 Gematria and the 49. Look at Donald J. Trump, the author name, 148 and 49. Fraternal, as in Freemasonry, has the 148 thing going. So yeah, I knew it. I knew there'd be a. Once my man Hickok said you got to look at Ted Kaczynski, I just knew there'd be gold here. So we'll just do it in real time. For all the critics who say that like I must just pick around and decode all day until I find the pieces that fit. Nope, not at all. Normally, I already know what it's going to add up to before I even start to decode. You know? So Ted Kaczynski, what do you know? Explain Pizzagate not being real? Well, my points are already proven. As soon as the news broke, I explained that it wasn't real. It's already been proven as a psyop since. So, I mean, if you don't know that at this point, you're not keeping up on anything. But Pizzagate was just such an obvious psyop. I mean, I don't know how you guys fell for it. You really think that the New World Order, which the New World Order does deal in human trafficking and exploiting children and murdering and raping children. I'm not arguing about that, but you think they're running it out of a pizza shop in Washington, D.C.? I mean, you got to be pretty dumb to fall for that. And wasn't it just obvious how political and divisive it was? It made it seem like it was just the liberals. It's just the liberals that are running the sex ring. It's Hillary Clinton who's the biggest sex pimp in the world. I mean, for you guys to fall for any of this is, to me, again, let me show you who you are for all the people who fell for Pizzagate. I know who you are. Let's get the right picture up here while I talk about this. These are the people who fell for Pizzagate right here. The same people who thought Donald Trump was the savior of the New World Order. In case you missed any of the debates I did for Pizzagate, I was arguing against a bunch of people who all thought Trump was the savior. Hillary Clinton was the Antichrist. So was Barack Obama. You know, it was the same crowd who thought Barack Obama would be the forever president. I was saying, no, none of this is going to happen. There's no reason to do any of that. They'll just bring in the next boss, same as the old boss. You know, Donald Trump and Barack Obama, the rhetoric's different. They speak differently. You know, one's a lot fatter and sloppier and more grotesque, but they don't govern any differently. They do the exact same things. They take orders. So anyway, Pizzagate, total psyop by the numbers. You know, back then I was doing the decoding, showing you all the numbers they coded on it. And I just said it's just meant to take a real issue and then get the sheep in the truth community to follow an obvious lie. And I showed what they were doing all throughout the Pizzagate psyop. I said that they're using this story to censor the truth community. And I was exactly right about that. So, you know, Tracy, who's in the chat, questioned me about this, actually makes me really angry because I exposed this from day one. And I said that they were going to use this to censor the truth community. And what do you know? Days later, we get a story about some guy named Edgar Madison Welch, who supposedly has a YouTube channel, who went into the Pizzagate with an AR-15. And then you're getting more and more headlines about how something needs to be done about the online truth community. There needs to be censorship. Wall Street Journal calling for articles that only the authorities should be able to post on YouTube, normal news networks, etc. And look at what happened. You know, all the real truth channels got deleted, including me. I'm on my 20th channel since June of 2017. And I was the truth channel that exposed Pizzagate first. All the sheep followed all the shills in the truth community. And understand, almost every truth channel on YouTube is a shill. Over 90% of the truth channels on YouTube are shill channels, period, that almost all of you fall for, hook, line, and sinker. You never seen these people's faces. You don't know what their names are. They tell you Donald Trump's the hero. They tell you Alex Jones is great. They tell you Pizzagate's, you know, the thing you should be into. They're just all leading you astray, leading you nowhere, leading you down dead ends. And I don't know how you guys don't see it. You really think that they're going to run a child sex shop out of a local pizza chain in Washington, D.C.? Seriously, you have no idea how these people operate. These people control government facilities, giant group homes. That's where they get their children from, not from pizza shops, you know. It's not like they're sneaking little Nicky off who's back at the arcade in the back of the pizza shop, taking them down to Hillary Clinton's underground lair. You guys don't get it. You think Hillary Clinton or Bill Clinton or somebody. They're not. They're puppets. All these people that they put out on the TV that you get all angry about, they're all puppets put out there as distractions for you to get worked up with. So, anyway. Why should you follow Q? You shouldn't follow Q. Q's another psyop. Q's playing on the same people who think the Earth's flat, that Pizzagate's legitimate, that Donald Trump's the savior of the New World Order. And this is the biggest chunk of the truth community. And you know why? Because overwhelmingly, humanity is very stupid. And even the people who are somewhat awake looking for truth, they're not very smart themselves. That's why they fall for all of these psyops. That's why they don't embrace Gematria, you know. Yeah, Tracy, I do get pissed. I'm glad you went out and bought the book, but I get pissed that you guys aren't up to speed on anything. How about this, Tracy? Go do a search for this right here, Tracy. I'm pretty sure somebody's got the video up somewhere. Let's see. I used to always go by Zachary K. Hubbard. I finally tried a new channel name after they deleted it 5,000 times. Pizzagate debate. See, is it still up here? Maybe it's been deleted. I love all these shills that say they've exposed me. Well, maybe I need to, or here it is. It's actually right here. I didn't see it. It's at the very top. Watch this right here. It's me debating two shills, a call for an uprising and Jeff C. It was 2-on-1, and I destroyed both of them, and I made them look both very stupid. A call for an uprising actually retired from YouTube the day after this debate happened, and it was comical listening to his retirement because he said, and it's not because of the debate I had last night with Zachary K. Hubbard. Yeah, it was. He should have stayed gone. He came back like a month and a half later. But he did retire the day after we had this debate because he got destroyed. And, you know, only shills promoted Pizzagate. Don't you remember that guy, David Seaman? Where did he come from? The Jewish guy? David Seaman. Does he still have a channel? God, I hope not. Maybe he's gone. David Seaman, the big Pizzagate debater or exposer with a clear mocking of a name, a guy who worked for the Huffington Post. All of a sudden, he doesn't work for the Huffington Post, and all he's doing is producing videos about Pizzagate. You guys couldn't see this? Somebody says, I've fallen for the Jesuit deception. I don't know what you're talking about. Can you guys just not talk about flat Earth? I mean, listening to you guys talk, it just reminds me of how uneducated you are. We don't live on a spinning ball. Here, go take a ball on your finger and spin it around so that it spins at the rotation of 1 time per 24 hours. You know, realize that's not much of a spin. And then go look up the word relative. All things are relative. The Earth is massive. The Dow's down 608 points today. I got to look that up. That's hilarious. Dow Jones, Wall Street Journal. Let's see. I got to see this with my own eyes. Is it really down 608 points? God, it is. It's down 608. And on the day leaving 68 days left in the year. Talk about the mockery. And again, don't forget that all these Wall Street company heads, these Fortune 500 company heads, if you look at almost all of them have also worked for the CIA. Just shows you how tightly knit the corporate world is, the government world. You know, you get all this propaganda about, you know, these governments out there, these corporate governments, these fascist governments. You guys, this is it. We live in the fascist government. We live in the corporate government alliance. We always have, ever since the World Wars, no doubt about it. What was I just thinking? There was something just as a reminder here about Wall Street. I'm watching this Friday. Wall Street has this gematria of 135. You see that? Wall Street, 135 alphabetic order forwards and backwards. House of Cards has this gematria of 134. This Friday will be 134 days after Trump's birthday, or his 135th day of his age. So if you count the full span, it's 134 days after his birthday or his 135th day of his age. And this number 134. It's all over his administration. Again, the Trump card, the time of the hit show House of Cards, announces the 45th president-elect on the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. No, 45. So Berlin Wall is also 63, like Wall Street. The fall of the wall, Donald Trump, House of Cards. Again, the guy born with the silver spoon in his mouth. Had to use the taxpayers to be bailed out several times. Can you imagine being that much of a failure at life, to have daddy give you $100 million back when $100 million was pretty much worth $1 billion, and then to fail and lose all that money and then need to come get the taxpayers to bail you out? Some of you guys, he's your hero. Donald Trump, your big hero over there. Complete moron. And God, every time I see Donald Trump talking today in his little soft voice about how we need to have unity, it's just like, I mean, who are you, dude? I mean, the guy's just such a fraud, and so many of you sheep fall for it. It's just pathetic. My thoughts on Truth Heresy? Well, Truth Heresy is obviously a legit dude. I had Truth Heresy on my radio show when his book came out, and Truth Heresy said, he'd been doing this work for a long time, and he needed people to come out and support his book, or he was going to have to go back to the 9-to-5 grind and work again because he had a family to feed. And what happened is no one supported his book. So, and I shouldn't say no one, almost no one supported his book. So he's back working the 9-to-5. And let's see, has Truth Heresy made a video anytime recently? I don't think Truth Heresy's made a video for a long time. I haven't heard anything from Truth Heresy in a very long time. Nine months ago. So, and see, exposing the real shills like Marty Leeds. Marty Leeds is a definite shill. And so, yeah, Truth Heresy was a legit person. He told you where he was at in life. He said he needed the support. He didn't get the support. And now he hasn't been making truth videos. He had to go back to work. And the same thing almost just happened to me. Same thing almost just happened to me, but you guys stepped up when I needed you to step up, and you supported, and, I'm still going. So. God. Somebody wrote that the truth community is the flat earth community. Well, the really dumb part of the truth community is the flat earth community. The people with low IQs whose opinions don't matter, who are, sheep falling off a cliff that's been set for them, that's who the flat earthers are. Flat earthers have no mathematical understanding, no intelligence, really dumb, gullible people. That's who flat earthers are. I don't make any bones about it. I can't stand the flat earth community. I can't stand the sheep who fall for the psyop. You got to be so dumb to think that the earth is what do you guys, what is it, a flat, stagnant disc? Is that what it is? With no proof of edges or sides, no evidence for anything you think? This flat earth community is the worst thing that ever happened to the truth community. That's why I hate it so much. I could do a breakdown on cryptocurrencies, but I don't really care about it. I've been telling you guys forever, it's obviously synced up with the rest of the market. It moves the same way. This guy writes, America knows nothing about real fascism. Well, yeah, the definition of fascism is the merger of the state with corporations. So I know enough. I realize that there's been greater periods of fascist tyranny, But people like you, you don't know anything. How this nation began, it began with a genocide, just killing people. So, this is a more clever form of fascism going on here. This is getting people to love their fascist master. They don't even have to go and drag them out in the street and kill them. Just get them to submit to tyranny and love it. I've had a lot of moderators write me and say, how come you took away my moderation privileges? I haven't taken away any moderators' privileges. And here, Here, Dan, you can become a mod too. Maybe Google's taking away the mod privileges, so it makes it harder to censor the trolls. Awesome, Sarah. Sarah says she bought Truth Heresy's book. Yeah, this guy writes, America is the epitome of fascism. Yeah, it really is. I just want to talk about doing stupid Gematria decodes. Globe Earth and propaganda, same in 4 ciphers. So what? What's a globe Earth? You know? What's a globe Earth? Is there such a thing as a globe Earth? You know, those are 2 words you put together. You know? Try flat Earth theory. Has the same gematria as Masonic. Look at the history of flat Earth theory. Where's it come from? Zion, Illinois, the most Zionist neighborhood in the entire nation. Who controls the propaganda of this nation? All you flat Earthers, you choose to look at the not obvious. Flat Earth theory, the same gematria as Jewish. Who controls all these Jewish entertainers that are coming out and saying the Earth is flat? From Tila Tequila to Kyrie Irving to whatever that rapper's name is. So, all you flat Earth retards, you bring nothing to the table. You just keep saying the Earth's flat with no evidence. Why don't you retards go rent a boat and go out to the edge of the Earth and record it with a video recorder? You know, that's something you guys could do. Instead, you just sit here behind your computer saying the Earth's flat. I don't believe in a spinning Earth. Well, okay, you're retarded. Got it. You know? No one needs to hear from the flat Earth retards. That's all you guys are, a community of retards with no evidence, big mouths, insults. You guys are just a bunch of pathetic people, you know? Dumbest people in the truth community, and the Zionist Jews who set up the flat Earth psyop, they knew you'd make us all look like a bunch of idiots. Why do you think I get trolled every single day? This guy thinks the Earth's flat. People leave that comment every day in my videos. I don't think the Earth's flat. I get trolled because it's a psyop meant to discredit the whole community. And all of you so dumb to fall for the flat Earth, you all make it happen. That's who you are. So our friend here, I believe your name's Carol, she says, Zach, the Congress passed a bill that gave massive amounts of money to pay people to put out propaganda on social media. So most of these Q people are paid shills. Well, you know, I'm going to have to look into that story. If you can tell me more about that bill that put out these funds for trolling, I would love to look at it. But you know, a lot of the government's budget is black budget that we don't even know about anyway. The military has all sorts of unaccounted for dollars, and since this entire nation's a military psyop, you know, who knows how much money that they really have for to pay for trolling and shilling. It is an age of misinformation. That's why one of the leading shills in the truth community, Alex Jones, has a show, InfoWars. Again, for the record, Alex Jones supposedly born on the 42nd day of the year. InfoWars equals 42, like Freemason, like Zionism, like Alex Jones, like Alex, like Waco, where he got his big break. Alex Jones, major government agent, major Zionist shill. Yeah, last year knowing Gematria, somebody's talking about Zion Williamson, the best college player. Last year knowing Gematria, we were able to predict that he would go. We were able to predict that he would go to Duke before it even happened. All right, I appreciate your efforts. I'm going to make you a moderator too. You're newer around here, but you're already doing great work. September 23rd. September 23rd is the day, if I'm not mistaken, the day leaving 99 days left in the year. That 99 is real big. The Bavarian Illuminati was established on a date with 99 numerology. Somebody just taught me this last week. It was Jeremy who's in the chat right now. Date United States changed its name. It was actually where did you show me that, Jeremy? It was September 9th that we went from the United Colonies to the United States. So check this out. On this day, the name United States of America becomes official. It was September 9th, 1776. We went from the United Colonies to the United States of America. And they didn't do that on 9/9 by accident. The United States of America equals 99, right? This nation began with 13 colonies. When you write out 13, it's 99. Think about the 13 colonies, the 13 stripes, 13 years of public school programming. The Bavarian Illuminati was established May 1st, 1776 with 13 families. And 5/1/1776, again, that's a date. Whoops, I forgot the one. 5 plus 1, 6, plus 17 more is 23, plus 76 is 99. Now look, September 9th, here's the other thing about this 9/9 thing. September 9th is the day leaving 113 days left in the year, right? Now watch this. United States in our base ciphers, you won't see it. These numbers that pop for United States are interesting, but if you use the exception where you make the E22 with the reverse, whoops, I hit the wrong one. I need this one. Where you make the E's 22 because E takes on the master numerology, United States becomes 113. Now think about that. September 9th is the day leaving 113 days left in the year. The United States of America equals 99. United States equals 113. And you don't think they've been using this code in sync with the Gregorian calendar for centuries, doing this stuff repetitively over the years in light of all that I've exposed? And even still, there's more that we learn. Jeremy, who's in the chat right now, just uncovered this last week. Awesome observation. You know? And then you got retards like this, Marty Leeds, saying that, you know, these methods of gematria are not real. This is all made up BS. You know? So be careful who you listen to. Marty Leeds, same retard that tells you the earth is flat. And by the way, I had a private conversation with Marty Leeds, and I said, admit to me that you don't think the earth's flat and you're just exploiting the truth community because you know it's a big market. And he laughed. He didn't say anymore, but he laughed when I said that. All of you guys who follow for the flat earth, you're all being exploited. You're all being taken advantage of by people who are smarter than you, okay? You want to argue with me and get mad at me and say I'm a shill because I tell you the earth's not flat, which I've been telling you since the whole psyop broke? Okay, you're too dumb for your own existence. You're too dumb for your own good. Just want you to know that about yourself. You can't see that every shill promotes the flat earth, huh? You're too dumb to see that? Every shill. The one thing you give Marty credit for is he puts his face on the screen. InfoWars no longer exists. Remember, if you missed my work on InfoWars, the whole thing went down by the numbers. But yeah, InfoWars still exists. I don't know why you guys say the things you do. InfoWars no longer exists. Well, it took about 5 seconds to disprove that. InfoWars no longer exists. Too many of you guys speak before even doing any research on anything, including the entire flat earth community. Always love when a flat earther tells me that I haven't done the research. Oh, I haven't done the research. Okay. Yeah, goyim. All flat earthers are goyim. They're the absolute definition of what a goyim is, straight from the Talmud. Dumb cattle, every last one of them. The shape of the earth doesn't matter. It's not important. But what does matter is that people are so dumb to fall for the flat earth psyop. That's what matters. Yeah, radio show tonight. That's right. There's my man right there. He wants to go on another hike. Hope I can document some stuff falling out of the sky, but I need a camera. My camera doesn't work on my phone anymore. So Barry Sotora says, could this all be coincidence? If you're retarded, it could all be coincidence. You know, could all be a coincidence if you were retarded. Yeah, there's other things special about September 23rd. 23 is the ninth prime number. So in a way, the date's a hidden 9-9. So not only is it the day leaving 99 days left in the year, 23 is the ninth prime. It's another 9-9. And the other thing about 239, that date can be written 23/9, like 239. That's the 52nd prime. 239 is the 52nd prime. Remember, in our base ciphers, 52 is a real big number. We talked about this earlier today. Government 52, authority 52, when spelled correctly. Kabbalah 52, Gematria 52. Remember how the Pope arrived on that day. And if I'm not mistaken, September 23rd is the 266th day of the year. Pope Francis was the 266th Pope. So, you know, that's when most of the hype started for that September 23rd thing, was the year that Pope Francis came on that day and met with the president and took the White House lawn at 9:23 in the morning. Countering Information Warfare Act of 2016. I'll look into it. Like people who come up here, like I can't decide if these are real questions. Alex Riley writes, "What's the point of your numerology?" I mean, have you seen my work? I expose what happens often before it happens. I tell you what's going to be in the news before it happens. I'm exposing the code that the tyrants work by. If you're too dumb to get that, you're probably too dumb to be searching for truth. These questions. Okay, you're new here. Well, I mean, watch some videos. You know, for 5 years, I've been calling what's in the news before it happens. What's the point? I mean, I just showed you how the entire news story today is a contrived thing set up with our entire rigged government. I mean, what's the point? Goodness. Yes, you can make Gematria Effect News business cards and hand them out. You guys can do anything with my work. You can share it anywhere. You can post my videos anywhere. You can upload my videos to your channel. You can copy and paste my blog posts. You can share it on your social media. All of my work is free to share. And like I've told everybody, if you buy my book, you're welcome to share it with as many friends and family as you want. It's an ebook, so you can mail it. You can buy one copy and you can email it to 100 people on your friends list. But if you do that, I'd appreciate if you said, "Hey, this book's really great. The author gave me permission to share it with all of you. If you like it, he needs people to support the sales so we can get it in print." Nobody got blocked. Lotto Medium needs $1 to buy in PayPal. Lotto Medium, if all you got is $4, you can donate the $4. Send me an email at gematriaeffectnews@gmail.com. I'll send you the book for $4. If you're $1 short, I got you. You know what, Lotto Medium, if you only got $4, man, you can just send me an email too. I might just give you the book. If you really want it and you only got $4 to your name, I'll help you out. gematriaeffectnews@gmail.com. That's where you want to send your email. Well, Stephen A. Smith's probably distorting history. We all know it was September 23rd. There was a shooting in USA, right? There was a bomb scare today. I don't know about any shooting. I haven't heard about that. Just the big bomb scare. So the book is $9.99 on Etsy. I raised the price to see if it would help sales. A lot of people were telling me I needed to raise the price because people are probably looking at the book at $5 and saying it's too cheap, so it wasn't worth anything. So I raised it to $9.99. And so far, sales have been worse. But I told people, if you can't afford $9.99, you can send me an email at Gematria Effect News and make a $5 donation to my PayPal, and I'll give you the book for $5. How much do you need to print the book? It depends on where you go to and in what country you live. I've seen people say in other parts of the world it cost them $10 to get the book printed. I've seen people say that they went to their copy shop and it cost him as much as $70. So, I mean, shop around. The book's 773 pages. If you print it front and back, if you print that front and back on your own printer, it'll probably use an entire cartridge of ink. And, you know, if you print it front to back, that's going to be what? 388 pieces of paper, something like that. Wait. Something like that. 387 pieces of paper. There's a shooting in the USA right now. Maybe it's breaking news. Here, let me look. FBI FBI warns public to stay vigilant. I should call that FBI agent who came to my house and ask if he really wants to fight some tyranny. Dow plunges 600 plus points. What have I been telling you about the market? It's a roller coaster right now. It's going way down. It's the house of cards. Falls 608 points on the day, leaving 68 days left in the year. Don't you guys just understand? It's just a culture of fear. It's just lies every single day. It's government contrived tyranny. It's our taxpayer dollars paying for it. You know, it's a travesty. Shooting at Kroger in Louisville. Okay. Shooting Kroger. So Kroger, I already know what's up with Kroger. I'll go to that in a minute. I used to work for a Kroger. Kroger's the biggest grocery store chain in the United States of America. So I'll show you what's up with Kroger. Kroger has that special Gematria 74. Kroger 74, just like active shooters 74. Just like Masonic is 74. No, just like killing is 74. So Kroger's the right location. Kentucky. It's in Louisville, Kentucky. Here, let's just do it in real time. Chief Sam Rogers. Sam's a good 33 name, like police, like masonry, like secrecy, like order. 2 people were shot and killed at a Kroger store in Jeffersontown, Kentucky, the police chief said Wednesday. And understand, this is what fascism is. These corporations participate with our government to create this propaganda every day. It's about 13 miles from Louisville. Of course it is. All right, let's look at some things here. Jeffersontown, Kentucky. Okay. Seeing some numbers here. 64 kill number, 62 and 170 sacrifice, 181 the 42nd prime. Kentucky. Kentucky's got that 43 like Masonic, like killing like policeman. It's got 107. Jeffersontown, Kentucky, 107. Shooting, 107. So the town's got numbers. Kroger's got numbers. What else do we got here? Chief Sam Rogers. Check it out. Here's the, hopefully he hasn't been on the force for 33 years like these spokespeople so often have been. Chief Sam Rogers, 74. You got to love it, right? Here to talk about the Kroger shooting. Bam. Again, Sam's 33, like masonry, like secrecy, like order, like federal, like police, like October, the only month that sums to 33. Rogers. This is Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. Sam Rogers. Sam Rogers. Sam Rogers, great name for a policeman. You see that 43? Policeman 43. You know? Masonic 43. Killing 43. Sam Rogers, born to be a policeman. His daddy was probably a mason and a policeman. So, you guys happy with the decode? Did we take it apart enough? You got to love the 6:02 post time, too, from CNN. They love to do that. They love to post it with the numbers that go with the details of the story. What was it? Jeffersontown, 62. It's all masonry, guys. Big number there with the Masons. You guys see how fast I can decode a story? You guys see how long it takes? It takes like 5 seconds when you know the code. Yeah, good catch there with the Kroger and policeman. If you're interested in the third temple, I have a long playlist on the third temple. So look, Tisha B'Av is to remember the destruction of the two temples. Next year, Tisha B'Av falls on August 11th, 2019. And I've put out, like, I don't even know now, 20 videos on all the things pointing to that date. August 11th, 2019 is a date with 58 numerology. Donald Trump, okay, let's just do this real quick. Donald Trump's the winner of the 58th U.S. presidential election. He announced he was running from the 58-story Trump Tower. He hired the 58-year-old Steve Ray for Inauguration Day. If you write out third temple, it sums to 58. The second temple was Herod's temple, which sums to 58. The first was Solomon's temple, 58. And Solomon's temple is very important to Freemasonry, 58. It's very important to secret societies, 58. Donald Trump was in Jerusalem for Jerusalem Day, 58, and synced up with the date August 11th. Spell Jerusalem right there. Remember, Donald Trump was in Jerusalem Day, May 22nd, 2017, exactly 811 days before August 11th, a date that can be written 8/11, which is going to be Tisha B'Av, to remember the destruction of the two temples, where supposedly they were destroyed on the same day in history, which is Tisha B'Av. So just doing things ritualistically, you can expect them to, start the agenda for the third temple on the day. And we've done a ton of work on all the things that are related. You can look up the mayor of San Francisco right now. Her name's London Breed. She's going to turn 45 years old. She's the 45th mayor of San Francisco. She's going to turn 45 years old on August 11th, 2019. Notice Golden Gate's 45 in both ciphers. She's going to turn 45 on the date we're looking at. That matters because the Jewish prophecy is that the Jewish Messiah will arrive through the Golden Gate at the same time as the construction of the third temple. And right now there's a shekel, which you can buy. Notice shekel equals 102. This shekel went on sale on the 102nd day of this year, April 12th. It was the first day you could buy it. There's a shekel. Here, let's just look it up. Donald Trump. Oh my God, I can't type. Donald Trump, third temple, shekel. So there's a coin that's being sold right now with Trump and King Cyrus on one side and the third temple on the other. And the purpose of buying this coin is to help raise funds to build the third temple. So I just told you a little bit about what's up with August 11th, 2019. There's a whole lot more to it. What does the number 58 mean? Well, it means a lot of things. Devin Lane, I would recommend go buy my book. Chapter 2, I get deep on 58 and what it means. Or you can sign up for my Patreon, Gematria School. Last week, Gematria School, we went over the meaning of numbers. And we talked specifically about the number 58 because it's so important. So, you guys, the questions you ask me are questions. You guys have to understand, I've been doing this for 5 years straight every day. The questions I get asked every single day. It's why I get irritated. I wrote a really awesome book. It's really affordable. You can go out and buy it. You can support truth. You can learn a ton. You'll realize that you're getting the better end of the deal for my book. For 6 months, it was on sale for $5, a 773-page book. It's now $10. If you can't afford $10, I told you again how you can get it for $5. You guys got questions? I got answers. Read the book. I can't spend all day, every day answering the same questions that I've answered for 5 years straight. Eugene McGee says, now they have cause to track everyone. They've had cause to track everyone since September 11, 2001, and they have. All right, you guys, I got 2.5 hours before the radio show starts. There's a number of things I got to do before then. Appreciate everyone hanging around and listening and supporting the work. You want to know more about the code, go read the book that I wrote, The nice thing about buying the book is nobody can take it from you. This truth channel, it can be deleted any moment. All these videos can be gone overnight. It's happened 20 times before already. So go out and get the book, print it out. Then you don't have to worry about, your electronic file getting deleted or disappearing. Have it there saved on your bookshelf. All right. Appreciate all of you guys. Thank you for the compliments. Have a great day. Thanks for putting up with my grouchiness. Those flat earthers, they get me every time. They get me every time. I can't help it. They're my Achilles heel. All right, Truth Seeker. Take care.